When I graduated high school, I became obsessed with adventure. It started with camping, then backpacking, exploring caves, summiting mountains. Basically, whenever we get the chance, my friends and I plan a weekend trip. But that's the problem. They're just weekend trips. For years, I've wanted to travel to Glacier National Park, a place so incredible it's currently ranked #1, beating Yellowstone and even the Grand Canyon. But right now, it's just out of reach. It's too far for a weekend getaway, too cold to sleep outside, and predicted to rain the entire week. With winter just around the corner, it's now or never, which is why I'm trying out
Sedan life. I don't have a van. I have a sedan, and not even a big one. I can't even fit in the middle seat. Anyways, I'm gonna be driving literally the entire day, so I need to get going.
At its core, van life is exactly what it sounds like. You live out of a van, or in my case, a sedan. But I think there's more to it than that. I'm definitely no expert, but over the course of this trip, I'm hoping to learn a little bit more about what it's like living on the road. And after a full day of driving, I finally made it to my first destination.
It is absolutely freezing outside. Almost literally. Step 1, get some warmer clothes on. Step 2, cook a hot meal. Just made some hot ramen soup. A cup of my favorite tea. If I spill this, I'm gonna hate my life.
Luckily, I got here just in time. It got dark super quick. It's getting cold, so next I need to make this cluttered car into a sleeping area. Setting up my car for the night was pretty straightforward, but here's a quick sedan tour. Okay, so it might look a little bit cramped in here, but let me tell you, I am so glad I'm doing this instead of using a tent. It is cold, it is windy, and it is rainy out there. Meanwhile, I'm snug and cozy in here. So from back to front in length, I've got almost exactly 6 feet to hang out in, which for me is perfect. So all you guys over 6 foot, you may be able to dunk a basketball, but try to sleep in my car. I'm not insecure. So at the back, I've got maybe 2.5 feet up where my body is. I don't know, maybe 3 feet sleeping pad, sleeping bag. And I got a nice cozy pillow up front. I've got the big tub with all my main supplies, all my food and snacks. And then I've got this blanket, which I can drape over these seats. And that just gives me some privacy so people aren't directly looking at me when I sleep. Oh, and I've got one more black blanket that I can use to cover up the hatchback. But night 1 sedan life, here we go. At the time I fell asleep, I was relatively comfortable, but by morning the temperature had dropped drastically.
I am not looking forward to stepping outside. The windows are totally frosted over. Here goes something.
While the initial shock of leaving my sleeping bag sucked, I kept pretty warm throughout the night and slept great, which was good because I had a crazy day ahead of me. The big difference I'm seeing between van life and camping or backpacking is it's not about just roughing it. It's about being comfortable, living cheaply, and still being able to explore all these places. Getting a cabin or a hotel could be $100 to $200 a night. Instead, I paid $10 for a campsite, and I just get to hang out in a national park. My first stop of the day was Grinnell Glacier, which was a little over an hour away, and supposed to have some incredible views. It's also where I'd have one of the scariest, but most amazing experiences of my life.
I got lucky. I got here just in time, grabbed one of the last parking spots. This one is super popular. I guess that's what the budget campground gets you. When you're paying $10 a night, you gotta drive a lot longer and you gotta get up a lot earlier.
There's a bear. Stay on the other side.
Where is he?
On the other side. Someone said he was coming up this way.
Oh, he's right underneath.
A little close for comfort. I don't want to hang around him too much.
Yeah. I've never actually ran into a bear in the wild before. Definitely kind of a scary experience, even though I was decently far away. Glad I wasn't alone for that, but super, super surreal.
The glacier was absolutely gorgeous. Definitely one of the coolest places I've gotten to spend some time at. But before long the wind picked up and it started to hail, so I made my way back to my car.
Alright, you guys have a nice hike down.
Yeah,
Oh, I really need to eat and drink. Oh my goodness. This is the point where I really wish I had a van. Because I have food, I'd love to just cook it and eat a hot meal and relax. In my car, that's simply not gonna work. I don't know, I could just eat a bunch of snacks, but if I can find somewhere nearby to eat just a delicious meal, I would love that.
Unfortunately for me, finding a place to eat wouldn't be that easy.
Without my GPS, I'm nothing. Feel like Lewis and Clark.
I found a place on the map nearby, but when I got there I realized
This place is legitimately boarded up.
so I went to the ranger station for help.
I was wondering if anywhere serves hot food around here.
No. So I left the park and found a place that wasn't open. I went into a store, but all they had were overpriced microwave burgers. But after an hour, I finally found exactly what I'd been searching for.
Yes. Yes. Finally. It's a little burnt. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely no love was put into this, but at this point I'll take it. I hit the road early the next day, and the sunrise was actually insane.
What the heck is that? Oh my gosh. Montana is beautiful! There's something so beautiful about just stumbling upon something like that. No one else is around, no tourists taking photos. That's special.
I didn't think I'd be able to top the previous day, but man, it completely blew it out of the water.
I've never been in a place this cool with snowy mountains and clouds and rainbows at the same time. Absurd. That might be the bluest, tealest, most beautiful water I've ever seen.
As corny as it sounds, all I could do was take everything in with the cheesiest smile on my face. But it wasn't long before I had to hit the road again.
It is actually so snowy and sketchy out here. I've been here 2 minutes and it already looks like this. So unlike the past 2 nights where I had a campsite to stay at, tonight I've got nowhere to stay. So in sort of true van life fashion, I'm gonna start driving towards my next destination and see what I can find. Okay, this might have been a stupid idea. It's getting dark. I'm literally just gonna park and set up camp at the first spot I see. Finally, I get one nice night. Yeah, the weather was messy today, but at night, clear blue skies.
While this wasn't a 100% authentic van life experience, I feel like I checked a lot of boxes of what the lifestyle could look like.
And we're off.
Living out of my car allowed me to travel to a bucket list destination in less than ideal conditions at a time I wouldn't have considered it otherwise. I kept relatively warm, had a way to charge my electronics, and spent my nights enjoying my time alone.
I'm laying in this cozy bed, watching Harry Potter, and eating Sour Patch Kids. This is awesome.
It also turned out to be incredibly cheap, and aside from the miles I put on my car, The entire trip was about the price of a night or two at a hotel. And lastly, I found a deep appreciation for the little things. Without cell service, I only checked my phone a few times throughout the week, and I really found a lot of joy just cooking and being alone with my thoughts. But before this trip was over, I had one more challenge before I could call myself a true van lifer. Find a place to shower. Unfortunately, while looking for a place, I realized that showers cost $12 to $15, which I really didn't want to pay, so I pulled over on the side of the road and went with the budget option. If I decided to make this a bigger part of my life, or actually live like this for a while, I'd definitely upgrade to a cheap van or SUV. But even in my car, I'd love to try it again, staying on the road even longer. Living and working like this full time would come with tons of additional challenges, and I really can't say much on that. But if you're looking for a week-long getaway, this was one of the most personal, unique, and incredible experiences of my life.